Good afternoon. I'd like to call this meeting of the Historic District Review Board on December 21st, 2021. Can I get a roll call?
Strube, present.
Herb Don, present.
Glasser, present.
Mayor, present.
Wells present. We've established a quorum. Can we all stand for a moment of silence and a pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Do we have any public comment? All right. Would someone like to care to make a motion to approve the agenda and minutes?
I make a motion, we approve the minutes and agenda.
Second.
I'd like to amend that so September and October would be eliminated and reworked and reworded possibly.
I can't hear you.
Didn't hear you.
I would like to amend that for September and October minutes. I didn't seem to think that they were properly worded and maybe need further investigation to look at. I don't know if anybody has any discussion with that. I just felt it wasn't thorough and may have to be reworked.
Was there something specific missing?
Can you be specific, Ed?
I don't have it right here, right now. I looked through all of them, but the last 2 months just seem to be not accurate.
In,
Well, yeah.
So I don't think it's a big deal just to go back. I don't want to look into it now. We have too many things on the agenda. If not, don't approve it.
Okay, then I'll make a motion that we exempt September 21st meeting and October the 19th meeting for review.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So,
The approval has been passed with that elimination of September and October minutes.
next time then we'll have 4 months, right? September, October, November, and December to review?
We hope
Yeah.
so, yes.
Yeah.
I hope so. Okay. Yeah, all right.
Is there any unfinished business?
Before we move on,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, if you could provide us where you think what topics or items on the agenda are not accurate in your review of the minutes?
I
You
don't
don't
have.
need, you don't need to do
yeah.
them right now, but
I can do that.
if, that would be
I can-
great.
I can
So
do
we can
that.
go back and listen to the tape.
Yeah. I think that's what it needs. I think the tapes need to be scrutinized a little more thoroughly.
you can go back and watch the videotape and see if there's something missing.
Sure. I don't have a problem bringing up what I felt was not
I just had
accurate.
Sounds like torture.
a minor correction for the...
Yeah, it is torture.
But
I don't know why these were brought up so many at one time. Couldn't we do it, step it up a little bit instead of waiting so many months? I mean,
We are struggling in the staff at this point to get everything done based upon our workload. So
I mean, we have 7 months worth of minutes here.
you're correct, and that was through the assistance of bringing on an intern that helped us catch up on the minutes for this board in particular. So we are going to work harder to get these done in a more timely fashion, but I'm not prepared to commit until the schedule of work flowing through this department in particular for this board alone slows down a little bit.
I understand.
Yeah,
Katie, can
we had a
send
number
you
of last month, but we just didn't have time, right? So we decided just to
Yes.
move those
Yeah.
to this time.
Yes, we did.
If we have any remaining issues, can we just send those to you?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. If you see any, when we send out the draft sets of minutes, contact the office by email or phone and talk to us about them, and we will try and get them proofed right away.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, it's no unfinished business. We're on to new business. Item 6A, fence installation, which one of our members is going to be an applicant.
I will recuse myself to the podium.
Thank you. Well, he is do the overview of the application.
Good luck.
So this is an application from Herb Tom at 119 Fig Street. He is seeking to install a wooden fence 6 feet high on a portion of the northern side property, partially from the rear corner property boundary to approximately 8 feet along the south property line, but not fully to the rear corner of the house line, and to have a 6-foot-high fence along the full rear property line. We have looked at this from a zoning compliance. The property is a legal conforming use. The height of the fence is in compliance with the zoning ordinance, and the location of the fence can be no closer than 1 inch from the property line. All else, we have provided the Historic District guidelines in our staff report for your review and consideration of the application.
As you know, I'm not an advocate for fences. However, I have the smallest lot in Cape Charles, and it's like sitting in a fishbowl. And I'd like to put in a hot tub and not for public display. So I'd like to,
That's right.
everybody thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's why I like the fence, and it's just a return on the west to east side. It's not enclosing the whole yard, but it does give us semi-privacy, and everybody has a copy of the style of the fence, which gives us ventilation and
Privacy.
semi-privacy.
You gonna paint that fence, Herb?
No, sir.
You're just gonna let it weather
I'm
and?
gonna let it weather.
I have no questions.
Are there any other questions?
Well, just a quick one, I know 6 feet in the rear is fine. You must have an answer to the justification for having part of the side be 6 feet rather than 4.
Well, that would be behind the rear of the house still, correct?
Okay.
Correct, it's
That would
considered
be-
part of the
that would
backyard,
be
and
6
it's only
feet.
So
closing
6
it not even up to the rear corner
Okay,
of the
fine.
house.
Yeah,
That's
so
good.
6
Still part of
feet
the
is
back.
appropriate.
Michael, it's just a return, really, on the corner to stabilize what would be the fence.
Okay.
But anywhere behind the house, you can have 6 feet.
Right. It's all behind the house.
I remember, I think
Violate.
we look for the fences to be painted, usually painted white.
You know, we have this discussion every time a fence comes up, and there hasn't been one that has been painted. They're all natural wood.
But I think in the guidelines, it's just. that
It
they
doesn't
should-
say it has to be painted. It said it could be, but it is not a requirement. And I can name you 50% of the fences in town that are not painted.
And every time this comes up, you make exception to me.
The guidelines do not say it has to be painted.
Well, where is it? You have it?
On page 28, item 2, it
Okay.
states, painted wooden pickets are a common fence type used in Cape Charles, although many fences use a combination of traditional materials.
So that's not a requirement.
No, it is not.
Well, we don't demand anything from this board. We make suggestions and try to use the guidelines.
Right,
So
but it's
up
not
to our
even,
interpretation.
it's not even a suggestion to be. It just says it does.
Well, that's
So we
the
can't-
problem with a lot of these guidelines, and I'm glad that somebody's finally doing something about it. Okay.
I make a
don't have
motion
problem
to
with it.
accept the plan as is.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Good luck. All right, item 6B, minor renovation of Jim and Jody Outland, certificate of appropriateness to screen in the front existing porch. Is the applicant here?
The applicant is here. Again,
Oh.
just if I may,
I did,
Chairman?
I skipped one, I'm sorry.
You did, you skipped
Yeah.
Michael Furcron.
Is he here?
He is not present, but again, it's a fence application, so if we have further questions for him after we review the
Okay.
application.
We'll continue with number 3, 6B.
So for Michael Furcron of 240 Monroe Avenue, he is seeking to add and install a 6-foot dog ear pressure-treated pine wooden fence on the rear yard side property line, specifically not the side property adjacent to Strawberry Street, which has an existing 4-foot tall fence, and to also add a 4-foot tall gate at the rear property line, which will connect to the existing 4-foot fence. The side fence addition is requested to be installed finished side in, and the applicant has noted that the adjacent neighbor would need to provide permission for the installation to be done with finished side in. Sorry. So from a zoning review, we've included all the pictures and diagrams provided by the applicant. The property is a legal conforming use. The maximum height for a fence is 6 feet in the rear yard. The materials are in compliance with the zoning ordinance, and the installation method of the side fence yard is allowed to be done with the finished side facing in, with the concurrent approval from the adjacent property owner. I still, at this point, do not have documentation that's been provided that the adjacent neighbor is in concurrence with the installation method. So I just want to make that a condition, that if we do not have that forward, then he would need to install it the proper way under our ordinance, unless the applicant provides that approval in writing from the adjacent property owner for the side-in installation he is seeking. Otherwise, he is in compliance with the zoning ordinance.
And I believe there is something in the guidelines about
Yes.
side in versus side out.
Yes, and the guidelines and our ordinance indicate if we obtain permission from the adjacent property owner, it can
It's
be
okay.
done that way. I am seeking that in writing from the adjacent property owner. And that has not been provided to the office as of right now.
So we can't make any
So what do we-
decision.
You
What do
can take a vote, just make it conditional upon the installation method. If the office does receive it with the adjacent property owner's permission, then we will allow them to install it with the side in. If we do not receive that, then we will only allow the installation method with the proper side facing out.
I mean, the applicant is not even here. We don't have the authorization of the neighbor. I mean, it doesn't seem like he's that concerned with this, in my opinion.
We can
I mean,
table this for 1 month if that's what you wish to do. We can ask the applicant to come. I know this is a struggle for some of our applicants with the holiday season and the scheduling of this particular meeting. So
did he
we can,
notify the office that he wouldn't be here?
I don't know if he did or not once we sent out the formal agenda. So we can table this for 1 month.
Do we
if that's
have
what
a
you'd like to do.
issue with this, or a question that we want for which is
Well, we
present?
don't have the authorization from the neighbor saying that they go along with the way he wants to do it.
Yeah,
I mean, if you want to do a conditional
Put the good side out?
conditional.
In.
He wants to
facing
put the
in.
good side in.
towards his yard.
But really,
But that doesn't make any sense, because if you put the good side in, you
Climb on
have
the outside.
the horizontal bit,
Yeah, but that's the way he
structure to
wants it.
crawl
Yes.
over the fence.
That's correct,
that's the
and
way
that's
he
what he
wants
is he is seeking it and has indicated the adjacent property owner is okay with that. I've asked to obtain that in writing, and it has not been received by the office as of this date.
I recommend that we table this and have him come back at the next meeting with the permission of his neighbor, and then we can make a decision.
I guess my only question with that is, it seems pretty straightforward to me. Is it worth pushing this off another month when we can just put a general contingency on it?
I agree with you, but it just shows a lack of respect for this board.
Yeah, but I think, kind of like she said, it's,
It's
we're
tough.
4 days before Christmas. It's a hectic time.
And in general, this board doesn't get a lot of respect.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm okay with amending that then and saying I recommend to approve it with the contingency that he get the permission of the neighbors submitted
In writing.
in writing.
Yes,
And what else did you need?
that's it, because
That's it?
it's a zoning issue. That's really where
Okay.
this sits, is a zoning issue.
Did he get the
and I can't
permission
issue
in
the
writing
zoning
from
permit.
his neighbors?
Well, then why is it here anyhow if it's a zoning issue?
Say that again?
Why are we here with the zoning issues if we're the
Because I think
historic
it's a
district
very
review board?
simple zoning decision to reach, so we can give him to the end of the year, end of December, have him supply the adjacent property owner concurrence. If that is not forthcoming by the end of December, then he has to install it the proper way. That's all.
And
So moved.
And there isn't any likelihood that the neighbor would approve it conditionally with some kind of other, no.
It's either you install it with the
With or
proper
without, yeah.
side out
Okay,
or
you want to
in.
make the motion, Kat?
so moved. Do you want me to say the whole thing?
So you have a motion to approve as is, and then we'll say it contingent.
Upon getting a written letter of approval from the neighbor by
By the end of December.
the end of
Regarding
December.
the installation method.
All in favor? Oh, we need a second.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion's been approved with conditions, and good luck. Okay, I'm sorry. Number 6A, number 2. Oh, that was him, sorry. Now I'm back to 6B. Judy and Jody Outland for screen in front porch. Sorry, I got you out of order.
So again, just to preview this, at 213 Madison Avenue, we have an application seeking to screen in the existing front porch in 3-foot sections and to add a storm door at the top of the stairs in the center of the porch. The proposed project is seeking to install this. The front porch is 280 square feet. The zoning ordinance allows for the screening of front porches with insect screening only, preferably with the screening placed on the inside or the house side of any architectural elements, and the ordinance does not allow for any permanent enclosure of front porches. The applicant has provided pictures, including a sample of a similar concept from another house, and we are asking the applicant just to clarify at today's meeting the specific screening materials and the storm door, including if any framing will be needed or proposed for installation of screening, as well as for the storm door. That's it.
Do we have any samples or any photos? I don't see that much here.
I see the samples of the doors, but
Yes.
these look like storm doors. Are you putting
What
them?
we were asking, our contractor had recommended a storm door. It's not, he just said that they tend to, that the screen doors tend to blow in the wind and get damaged, and that storm doors were much more hardy and durable.
But what would be the point of a storm door on a screen porch?
I guess it's the door that can be, because it's on a hinge. It was the contractor's recommendation. I wouldn't do one unless it really looked like it fit in. I mean, I don't want one of those ugly storm doors that doesn't fit into a screened-in porch.
I know our guidelines allow screen porches, but does it say anything about the door?
Well, that's a permanent fixture, a porch, and that's the problem.
What?
Because you have to frame in for a storm door. It's just not,
Well, you'd have to frame in for a screen door, too.
yeah, but it's, the framing on a wooden storm door is much lighter looking than a full door
You
jamb.
really only need hinges on a screen door versus the whole track has to be applied on a storm door because of the weight of the door.
Well, you have to frame in like you.
Right, frame a door.
Yeah, on
So
a,
the issue is the framing.
yeah, and you have to tie it into the header and everything else.
We have no problem with the screening of the porch. It's just the issue of the door right
Well,
now.
I'd like to see a sample. I mean, we don't know what the screening is gonna look like. We don't know how that's gonna be framed in.
Well, I did send a picture of a house on Monroe that's similar to our house, and
I don't have that here, I don't think. Which one?
Should be in your packet.
Yeah, I don't see it either, but,
Yeah, it's not in the packet.
I mean, there are several examples. I think I wrote down two, is that 207 and 201 and 209 Monroe?
yeah, there's the whole
comparable
200 block
examples,
of Monroe. I mean, more than half the houses on the 200 block have screened-in front porches. And we chose that one, and I submitted the photo for that because that house is also has a lot of the stone work like ours does. Like the columns are made of stone.
So
You-
what you should have had in your packet was her existing porch.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Sorry if that didn't make it, I apologize for that. And then she also provided us an example of someone who had screened in that sort of similar style porch. I didn't see that we had examples of other storm doors
see
on
that.
screen.
No, I actually, I sent in pictures of storm doors.
You sent us copies of the types of storm doors, but not examples from
No, I
other
didn't
homes.
see any.
That's-
So
And-
on this photo, you have like a double wide stairway. Where would you put your door?
At the top of the stairs.
I know that, but I mean, would you put it in the center?
It would be in the center, we'd have to remove the railing.
What color screening are you using?
I thought screening only came in one color. I mean,
No.
gray, right?
It comes in multiple materials and colors.
Yeah, it comes in metal as well as plastic or vinyl.
It comes in gray, brown, black.
We would be using gray, I mean, standard.
You know, your contractor should have gave us a sketch or something. I mean, just saying that you want to put a storm door up on the top of the stairs, when now you're removing the railing, it needs to be framed in. It's got to be tied into the existing porch header. There's more to it than just telling us. It should be really sketched out with dimensions. You know, what size storm door? What style?
I mean, if you didn't do a storm door and just did a screen door, you could use a more substantial screen door.
So, I mean, I kind of figured that y'all would say no to the storm door.
I
So
just think it would look
It's
strange.
okay, I figured y'all would say no. So I'm not gonna defend my storm door. But our contractor recommended it, I wanted to float it by the board to see what you all had to say.
Well, you know, a storm door is, it's not really made for a screened-in porch. You know, that's what Kathy was
Yeah,
suggesting.
I would like to use a substantial, screened-in door because of, you know, small children running through it, or not that we have a dog, but let's say we did, they could run through it. You know, that we had one on a house that had the bottom part of the screened-in door, like in one of my pictures.
This one, this
The black one here on the,
And there's a white one there too.
you're
one
right,
here,
with the slats on the bottom.
yeah, that's a very stable door,
Right, so.
the blue one.
So that's fine, and I really, as far as the screen goes, every house that I see, like all the ones on the 200 block of Monroe, have like a grayish,
It's vinyl.
green vinyl.
You
Whatever's
could
the
get,
sturdiest.
there's two schools of thought on that. The metal one will deteriorate faster than the vinyl. Okay, but you can get multi-grade vinyls. So make sure that Mr. Rosen gives you a sample of the vinyl screen. And Mr. Rosen also knows better about the storm door.
It was a suggestion. You
Yeah,
never know.
yeah. Anyway, tell Mr. Rosen to prepare you better, okay?
He's doing my house too.
I guess a question I have, Jody. The Craftsman Home is, you know, there are a number of them in the town, and I didn't realize how special that was until there was a day that was featuring Craftsman people. That wasn't well advertised in the town, but about 400 people showed up because it was on Facebook. And I realized, wow, you know, I couldn't believe there was this much interest in it. So just my question was, are there any other examples of a Craftsman home that have that screen? Because you don't want it to, you want people to be able to come by and say, oh, that's obviously a Craftsman home. That's part of what you know, we're trying to do, to preserve the type of house that it is.
Yes, sir, I see your point, and that's why the example that I did choose on Monroe that is a Craftsman. Our house is not a Sears house. I think I would have been more hesitant to do it on a Sears kit home because I'm not too sure, although there are some Craftsman homes in Cape Charles that could be kit homes
Yeah.
that have a part of the screen, and they have a porch that wraps, and so they have the L part of the porch screen and the
Okay,
front porch.
okay, yeah.
We don't have that option because we don't have a wrap.
Okay, so
And
that's,
honestly, the reason we want to do this is because we don't really get to enjoy our front porch because we get eaten alive by mosquitoes. And now that the town's not spraying, like they have been in the
Yeah.
past.
yeah.
And hopefully they will in '22, but that's always up for
Could,
talk.
could you show me where it says that there's approval for front screen porches?
In the zoning ordinance, it does allow
does.
for the inside If the screening is mounted inside, you're allowed for the insect screening allowed in our zoning ordinance.
For front porches.
Yes.
Yeah, we've
Yes.
approved them before. My memory's better than yours.
I know that.
I make a motion to approve it with a wooden screen door as opposed to a storm door. Can I do that?
Okay.
You can propose any motions if there's a second.
With a substantial wooden screen door.
I think that's kind of vague, but, I mean, we don't have.
Well,
any-
she has several examples of
She
them.
has several examples, but we don't know which one, do we?
Well, she said, like this one right here.
I think the contractor should have had us drew us a plan, show us where the screens are going, how far apart they're gonna go, what type of material, what size door. You know, there's gotta be a little bit more here than just,
We got caught with our pants down once, and I don't think we should be caught with our pants down twice.
It's a standard door. We're not looking for a double door. We're not looking for an extra big door. We're looking for a standard door.
Question, okay? Are you gonna have for a handicap
Why?
wide, that width of a handicap door?
I think it's.
yeah, it's gonna be a 36.
Standard 36-inch door, like our front door would be.
But that's not a requirement.
I know that.
I always say big enough to put a sofa through it, in case you have to get it.
Is the framing on the screening gonna be wood? Is it gonna be aluminum? What's gonna hold it together?
Well, sometimes I look for you all to give me advice on that. What am I allowed to do? I mean,
Well, your contractor should have looked through the guidelines, and he should have been suggesting things to you. We're not supposed to tell you what material to use. You know, you're supposed to come up and tell us, this is what I'm gonna use, and then if we say you can't use it, then we say you can't. But we're not supposed to tell you.
well, I mean.
How to
vinyl
do it, what
lasts-
to do it.
Vinyl lasts longer than wood.
Yeah, well,
But
we don't know what you're gonna use.
Okay, I'm gonna use vinyl.
I mean, you say you're gonna use vinyl, but I mean, I just don't think it's a complete application.
You can use composite.
If I may interject, we've got a motion, I haven't heard a second, so is the motion dying? Is there a second to Kathy's motion? Doesn't sound like we do. So I'm coming back just to the general conversation. This is a pre-application. It sounds like there may be additional questions that they would like clarification on. So it sounds like we're going to request this come back as a full certificate of appropriateness at the January meeting. And we are seeking additional information for your contractors to supply, or for you as the applicant to supply, relative specifically to the materials for the framing, the door type, and the size and dimensions of the door and its location on the porch.
And the framing size between the verticals, and so that's like 6 foot wide before the screens, or, do you understand? And Tommy can give you all this information, and he should provide you with the answers to the questions that we are posing to you.
Well, again, this is why we do a pre-application.
Right.
And-
That's what this is.
Yeah, I don't think
Right.
this is such a
And-
burden.
and-
I mean, this is simple questions, really. I mean,
So she's
Yeah.
now aware, and to take the pre-application, convert this to a
Right.
full certificate of appropriateness, and now she knows
Yeah.
specifically the questions to pose to her contractor.
She really hasn't lost any time at all, because when you come back, we can approve it and you can go ahead and start. So it's really not delaying you at all.
Right, no, he
Okay.
can't start it right away anyway. I
Yeah,
mean,
there's no
contractors are very
mosquitoes
busy.
What?
Although I
And-
was under the impression that this was just in the zoning ordinance and that it was screen porch. That
But,
it was not anything, that we were not doing anything unusual or out of.
It's not necessarily unusual, I just don't think we have enough information
Yeah.
from you as the property owner to the specific materials being proposed for them to weigh in with a final decision. So it sounds like we need dimensional information, the width of the door itself, including then what the framing will be on the existing porch, the materials being proposed, is it wood, is it vinyl, we just need to know the specifics of it. It sounds like we were given several options of the door, we need you to narrow down which option and style, so they're weighing in on the style option as well. Okay?
And-
Am I missing anything?
Yeah, no. And I know Katie's very busy, but, you know, she can kind of run it by, and she can give you a pretty good idea of what kind of a reaction it might get. It's not guaranteed or anything.
She's heard it, and I think she can provide the information for your next meeting's consideration.
Excellent, okay,
Okay?
very good.
Everybody good with that?
Yes, I'm good
Okay.
with it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay. Item 6C, modification to an approved certificate of appropriateness, Lot 561 Randolph Avenue, Justin and Christy Walker. Modification to certificate of appropriateness to use different style siding than previously approved. The applicant's supposed to be on the phone.
So yes, we need to call them.
Hello?
Hi, Christy, it's Katie Nunez.
Hello?
Christy, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Christy?
Yes.
It's-
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. It's Katie Nunez.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Okay, we are just starting your item, so hang on one second while we get through the introduction.
Okay.
Okay, so this is for a modification of a certificate of appropriateness, which was previously approved by this board on July 21st, 2021. In that original approval, they were looking to construct a new 2,072 square foot, two-story, single-family residence with a 350 square foot accessory structure, and the house will have a two-story front porch. In this modification, they are seeking to modify the siding material as well as the directional installation of said material. They would like to use the Everlast horizontal lap with 6 7/8 inch reveal in Arctic white. They would also like to replace the board and batten siding at the top of the house with Everlast with a 11-inch reveal. Previously, what had been approved at your July meeting was a James Hardy shingle siding with a vertical shingle style installation. And they are looking for this change for both the new house and the new accessory structure.
Okay, any questions, comments, concerns? It's pretty
Yes, sir.
straightforward,
Just change
yeah.
of the siding.
Any
I have no-
questions for Ms. Walker while we have her on the phone? Are we good with
Herb?
her?
I don't have any questions.
Okay.
We already approved
Someone
most
like
of
to
them.
make a motion?
I make a motion that we issue the certificate of appropriateness based on these plans.
I'll second.
So this motion, I'm not sure I heard that through.
To approve the modification.
Approve the modification.
I have a
Discussion?
question. I have a question on the 11-inch siding at the top. I thought the maximum we had was 7-inch.
This is a board and batten style, you see?
Right, shiplap.
And I think with the batten, it's gonna be
No,
less
it's,
than 11 inches, you know what I mean?
oops. Sorry.
You see the reveal is from here to here, 11 inches, but you got the batten.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Texture
they
111.
tend to be wider anyway, because
Like
that's the
texture 10
look.
Yeah, like texture 111.
I'm not sure, but that's what I'm thinking.
They're
hard to-
vertical,
It's
right?
hard to tell.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like here.
So they're wider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vertical, okay. I got it.
So, I'm not sure if I'm reading this correctly, but they would also like to replace the board and batten siding at the top with Everlast 11-inch reveal. I'm
Correct.
taking that as getting rid of the board and batten?
No, just putting new board and batten.
Okay, just changing the material with the wider, I got you.
So we already approved the board and batten.
Right.
Right.
It's just a different,
It's just a wider.
It's just a wider, and it's a different type of material.
Right.
yeah. So can we continue with the motion? Was there a motion and a
Second,
second?
I'll second it.
Well, we have a second.
Oh,
Yes, we have
Just
a
any
second.
other discussion?
Is there any more discussion?
No.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Motion's passed unanimously. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Merry Christmas.
You
Merry
too.
Christmas.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, moving on. We have Miss Kathy Glazer,
Yes.
20.
going to recuse herself, I think, from this
Yeah.
board and
Okay.
address the board with her modification of the
look at
certificate of appropriateness.
So she is moving her way down. I will give the overview. So again, this is at 520 Randolph Avenue. It's for a modification of a certificate of appropriateness that this board issued on October 19th, 2021. She is seeking to change the addition size and layout and replace all the siding with the approved hardy plank and replace the second floor windows. So again, what you originally approved was to renovate, as part of that was to renovate the existing house, including a new roof, porch rails, windows and trim, and steps, and constructing a 600 square foot rear addition on the two-story house. As I said, we approved it. We did have conditions with that approval at that time, which is that the chimney cap would be masonry, that the decking material would be composite tongue and groove, and the roof pitch could only be 3/12 to accommodate the existing second-story windows. As I mentioned, they're now looking to modify the application approval, and they are outlined for you. So they are looking for the previous location of the kitchen has been changed, and the new kitchen will be on the east side of the house. In order to accommodate the kitchen design, they now need to decrease the size of the windows so that the countertop can be placed on that wall. And the new windows will be the same width, but will be 48 inches in height instead of 64 inches in height. The exterior design will remain the same, of a 1/1 traditional ram's head with 1 7/8 inch sill to match the others. The existing windows are not original to the house. And additionally, plan to keep the existing shingles on the original house after demolishing and doing some renovation exploration. They found significant termite damage. With that, they are now looking that they cannot salvage the original shingles and the boards underneath, so they would like to refinish the existing exterior of the house after replacing the studs and base with new wood, and with the same hardy plank that was approved for the addition, with a lap siding with a 5-inch exposure wood texture. And then lastly, they originally intended to salvage the windows on the second floor. Again, after further investigation, these windows have significant termite damage and they need to be replaced. They are seeking replacement windows to be the same as those approved for the first floor. A 1/1 composite with AZAC trim with traditional ram's head configuration, having a 1 7/8 inch seal. As I indicated in the zoning review, this is not looking to add or alter any increase of the square footage beyond the original zoning review and approval of the application. So this is fully in zoning compliance.
So the picture that I have of the house side, that's the east side where we want to change the windows. They were not the original windows, so they are not the same size as the windows in the front. They were already smaller. But we will replace them with a 48-inch height as opposed to 63. So it's about a 15-inch difference.
Are they the same width as the second story windows?
They are,
Okay.
yeah. They're 30 inches. The other window on the first floor that's towards the front of the house
see.
is only 28 inches.
Yeah, I see that.
And you can see the picture of the inside of the siding. Not only is there termite damage, but there had been several fires in the house, and a large portion of the original siding and 2x4s are all damaged. So that all has to be replaced. So we can't salvage anything that's there.
Does anyone have any questions? It's pretty much a simple modification.
Correct. Kathy, using the historic ram's head? Okay.
Yeah, just a smaller
Right, smaller version.
And we'll be using the same thing on the second floor.
Reducing the window height by 16 inches then, basically, okay.
Raising it up so we can get a kitchen counter under it.
Okay.
Okay, do you need a motion, Ed?
Well, Katie, everything
Yes,
is good with the zoning, right?
yes, and we need a motion.
Okay.
Okay, I make a motion, it be approved, the modifications as per drawings and request.
Can we get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion's passed unanimously. Good luck.
Thank you.
Unanimously with Ms. Glazer being recused.
Yes,
And she was
yes,
the
yes.
applicant. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we move on to item 6D,
We need to
renovations, additions, and new construction, 516 Randolph Avenue, Danny Sullivan II and Joanna Baker. Certificate of appropriateness to construct a rear deck and replace a rear window with a door.
Are we calling them?
I believe we have to call it.
516 Randolph.
Sorry, you're good.
I didn't realize there used to be a duplex on my lot. This is me. And this is the house I'm doing. This is empty now.
Yes, is this Joanna?
Yeah,
Hi, Joanna, it's Katie Nunez from the Historic Board. We've got you on speakerphone, and give us just a moment while we do our little introduction.
wonderful, thank you.
Okay. As indicated, we are doing a pre-application for this property at 516 Randolph to construct a rear deck and replace a rear window with a door. If the board does find the application sufficient today, you can move this to a certificate of occupancy, a certificate of appropriateness. However, if you find that there's information you still need to acquire, that's the point of our meeting today, is to have that conversation with Ms. Baker as the applicant and seek that information. So as we indicated, they are looking to construct a 15 by 6 foot or a 90 square foot deck on the rear of the house and replace an existing kitchen window with a rear standard size door of 32 inch by 80 inch on the back of the house, which will lead directly onto the deck. Included in their application is the deck layout and materials and the proposed door sample. The project is not increasing the square footage of the existing building. The proposed deck meets the setback requirements, is in full compliance with the requirements of the zoning ordinance, and will be fine from a zoning perspective. So if there are any questions from the board members to the applicant?
Could you tell me what the height of the deck is?
Yes, I think it is 42 inches, a little, like 3.5 feet.
Because,
It was in the drawing I submitted.
okay, on your drawing, you don't have a railing on the steps, is why I brought the question up.
Oh, yeah.
In her specification sheet, she indicates that the design height is 3 feet 6 inches for the deck.
Still need a railing on the steps.
And then maybe, we just need to tell it. Yep.
No, I do need a railing on the steps, and forgive me, the drawing you're looking at represents hours of very steep learning curve for me, drawing that for you.
Yeah, because all the balls that you had on the deck would roll off.
And deck material.
Could you tell us something about the rail? Is it going to be vinyl, wood, metal?
So, Mike Cornish is the person who's doing the construction for me, and what
Unknown
I
caller.
have identified is a paintable composite material. And so it will look like wood, but painted white to match my white railing on the front.
Okay, Yeah, it says white AZAC. And they're 1 by 6.
No, that dimension.
And
of
I would
door-
assume when you do the railing would be the same material as the fence around the deck.
Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Jackie, I'm sorry, was that a question?
I just, will the deck railing be the same material?
Yeah.
Okay,
As the floor, you're saying, yeah, yeah.
okay. And the picture of the door that you have, that's the style door you're going to put on the back?
Yes, however, it will look exactly like that. I have been talking to OBS, because I like to use a wooden door. My front door is wood, so I'd actually like to use wood that I can paint the interior of the door. So it will look like that, but that's a composite material, and I prefer to use wood. I didn't know if that, I wanted to make sure that's fine with you guys, but I prefer wood.
Okay.
Yeah, we like wood here.
Okay, good.
Is there any, Katie, is the zoning okay, the distance?
Yes, zoning is fine,
Okay.
yes.
Then I make a motion to approve the proposed deck and door
And the rail, what about?
and the railing as per the plans.
Well, she has to include the handrail for the stairs.
And it's approved based on her having a railing on the stairs.
You got that, Tracy? I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 The motion's been passed and a unanimous vote. Good luck.
Wonderful. Thank you all for your time and have a happy holiday.
You
Thank
too.
Thank
You
you.
too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Bye.
Okay, where are we? All right, renovations and additions and new construction.
425.
2D, 425 Mason Avenue, John Dempster, Dead Rise Holdings, pre-application, a certificate of appropriateness to replace a front pergola, door, windows, and construct rear addition.
Did we hang her up? I'm just making sure. Yes.
Did we? I don't think I did, did you?
No, we're good. Okay, you do have a, before you start, Mr. Dempsey, you have an amended staff report with a correction. I used the wrong zoning district. I first attributed it to be in the CR. It actually is not. It's in the C1 district, which then changed our zoning review on the rear yard setback. I initially had marked it as 25 feet, but in the C1 district, it is actually only 10 feet for rear yard. And his survey includes compliance with that setback requirement. So sorry to interrupt.
So that's a good thing.
It is a good thing.
Yeah.
So since he is here, I will let him present what he is proposing to do.
Yeah, I sent in the packet, guys, typically I bring a connector for the TV, I'm sorry, I forgot to. But you guys should have something like this in your packet, basically shows some elevations, some sketches, Sean's the contractor, he drew these up. What you see in here is the existing building, kind of from here over, and this is a proposed addition off the back. Basically just trying to go straight back into the property where we have, so we can add, basically what we're running into right now in the summertime is that we can't take any takeout orders, we can't take any online ordering, because we only have one pizza oven. We don't have enough room to put a second pizza oven in without a larger kitchen, so we're turning away business left and right. The only answer is to put a second kitchen on. So this is a front rear elevation. We also, while we're there, cosmetically want to dress the front up. I realize that it's not the prettiest commercial building in town, so we want to take this opportunity to put some money towards the front, do a commercial pergola out front. Would be a wood frame pergola, and would be what was the pitch on? You got a small pitch on that.
It was just a slight pitch so the water wouldn't drain towards the front or the egress side. So, I mean, the minimal pitch, barely noticeable.
So there's a roof on the pergola.
Correct, yeah.
What
Yeah.
material? It looks like it's,
So it would be like classic ribbed metal. What we're trying to do is probably put a black underneath and a white up top to reflect sun. And, you know, with cut pergola painted black.
it mentions metal fencing. Where's
Yeah,
that?
raw iron style metal fencing, for ABC concerns.
We have to have a 42-inch high fence for license.
I got you.
And there currently is a fence there now.
I didn't know the specific height, but thank you for that clarification. We'll add that in. That is in compliance with the zoning ordinance, the 42 inches.
The current fencing is pallets, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Yeah, so sweat.
Listen, restaurants operate on a very thin budget for the first several years. You know, we're fortunate to be in a situation that we
Yeah.
feel like investing in the property. But, you know, it's gotten to that point. And also, part of it is, when we opened up that business, we opened up on a lease. We were on a 5-year lease situation. We're in our 5th year. As our second option was coming up, I made an offer to the owner to purchase the property. We wouldn't be looking to invest $250,000 into the property if we were leasing it. But with that purchase having been executed in June, I feel a lot more comfortable, you know, making an investment in the property, feeling like we're
Sure.
investing in ourselves.
How far does that come out towards the sidewalk?
Lines up right where the fence is now. It's basically right on the perimeter of the sidewalk. You should also, within your packet, have a survey and site plan done by North Point.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And so that should show you the proposed addition. Again, I'm sorry for the small visual here, but.
Yeah, I have that.
Okay, so this should show you exactly where the curb, the concrete, and where the fence are.
You'll still do the carryout from the front of your building?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we don't have much room on the side there. Smitty's next door to us with the golf carts, and we only have, we're right up on the 5 line
Right.
setback there.
And you're changing all the windows on the existing building?
Yeah, so what we have now is we have, I believe they're 9/6s. I had a photo in here too. You guys probably have a photo in your packet of the existing front windows. There's basically there's 2 bays out front when you look at the building. The building is actually an old emergency services building. It was designed to house ambulances
Right.
way back when. So what you're looking at is actually the original garage doors. And they've been since replaced with kind of a vinyl siding, and within that, each bay has 3 windows. Each window is a 9/6. So what we're proposing is to go in there just to clean it up and make it look a little bit dressier, to go in there and replace each bay with 1 full pane glass commercial window, so that instead of having 6 windows, it'd only be 2, and each bay would just have 1 pane total, as opposed to having 9/6 times 3. Math is not the best off the top of my head.
On the, I'm just, I'm looking at something else, I'm sorry.
Here's an image of the windows, if you guys don't have that. So basically what we're trying to do is replace, instead of there being 3 on each
Right.
side, there's gonna be 1 full glass
Right.
on both sides. And we do the same thing with the front door, just make it 1 commercial glass door, you know, keep in line with everything else that's on Mason Avenue, pretty much full view.
And this is a non-contributing structure, so.
Correct.
And just for the record, those are modern vinyl windows, stay in disrepair. I mean, they're not, you know, original wood stacks.
Any more discussion, any questions,
No?
concerns?
No questions?
I think it'll be a much improved upgrade to
Oh,
the town.
yeah. I'll be glad when you can do the carryout personally.
Me too, me too. If I can staff it, that'll be the next hurdle.
You have to promise to be open year-round.
Yeah, Dead Rise has been open year-round for years. Shaney's the one that.
Just don't have any carryout.
Well, we do now.
I know you do now, yeah.
in the
During the
summer, I mean,
summertime,
we
yeah.
get to a point, we can only cook for so many people,
I know.
you know, and it's, trust me, we're more frustrated about it than anybody else.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
You know, it's a big reason why we're willing to undertake this and spend the money.
Right.
And
So
there's
I,
no zoning concerns, Katie?
No, I did
Okay.
ask in the amended staff report, which I provided to John, if we can just tweak the site survey to
Put the cooler
show
in the back.
the cooler on
Yeah,
there.
no problem.
okay.
Otherwise, we are good on zoning.
Okay, I'll make a
I'll make
motion be
the-
approved as read.
I second.
All in favor?
That's,
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion's passed unanimously, good luck.
Appreciate your time, happy holidays.
You
Thank
too.
You too.
You staying around one?
Okay. Item D3, 602 Tazewell Avenue, Renato, and Jody Ducatello. Pre-application / certificate of appropriateness to construct a two-story detached garage. I think we have to call this applicant.
We do. That's Joanna. This one's international, so we hope we do this right.
Oh, wow, okay.
Okay, that one didn't go through, so I may not be doing something right. So in the interim, let's go ahead and talk about it. If we still need to contact them, I will try again.
Okay.
Okay? Okay.
Oh, okay.
So just to go through a quick overview of this with my staff report, if I can put my hands on it. And, they're seeking to build a 540 square foot, two-story garage with an accessory dwelling unit on the second floor. Their materials list is provided in the staff report, on each item. Their setback is 28.5 feet from the house and is a two-foot setback from the rear property line. Again, as we said, structure is 540 square feet, which is less than 43% of the square footage of the house, so they are in full zoning compliance. The planning commission has now approved a conditional use permit for the ADU, and the town council, at their meeting on December 16th, this past Thursday, they also approved and issued the conditional use permit as requested. Lastly, just to confirm zoning compliance, there's a distance of 22 feet between the house and the proposed accessory structure. So we are in favor of recommending this application based upon your further review in compliance with the historic district guidelines.
This application seems like it's been pushed through pretty quickly with the approval of town council just a few days ago.
This actually has been pending since May 22nd. So it's been working its way through the system to
It just-
obtain all the zoning approvals.
Everything just happened here at once?
Yeah, so we've been trying to line things up so that we don't take any longer than absolutely necessary to review an application.
Okay. Any
So
Any
the
comments?
opening faces the side street. Of the driveway.
Well, does anybody have any questions, concerns?
No, I don't think so.
You said drawings? Where are the drawings?
I'm looking.
It's
Well,
page
okay.
94, it looks like. So that's a full kind of porch in front there?
You know what, this application has been pending for quite some time, I haven't seen the plan.
Okay.
We got them here if you want to look.
Yeah, it looks like it. If you look at the one on the corner of Fig and Randolph, the detached garage, it's the same.
So this is on a house that was renovated years ago, all materials are gonna match the house. Yeah, so basically, yeah, so that's an egress.
Hardy plank,
Yep, already plank,
Sign.
similar windows, similar design and aesthetics. I'm sorry, what was the specific question?
Just asking about the porch.
Yeah, that looks like that's simply for egress.
Okay.
To come out the door, it's really minimal width, you know, just so you can come out the gable end and then.
And then the stairs go down.
Wrap around the corner of the stairs.
Mhm.
so what do you need, 2 or 3 means of egress from the top?
Well, so a window, a 3050 window meets egress. So
Okay.
that's what we would do, we would install an egress compliant window.
Again, any questions?
I don't see the garage doors.
Looks like in the last couple of pages, he
Oh,
has some
okay,
garage
yeah.
door spec.
I'm looking for a white double carriage style, if that helps any.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably
Okay,
like this one here.
I have no questions.
He has a faux wood composite, so it looks like he wants to make it look like a wood door.
Do you know whether it's gonna be inhabited?
I couldn't answer that question.
Pardon me?
No, I couldn't answer that question.
What was presented in their conditional use permit application, which was just approved, they would be using it as their premise, their place of residency when they come here from overseas. And they intend on renting out the main house in the interim. Yes,
Yeah, that's a rental house,
yes.
this one right here.
Yeah.
I,
Oh, that's on the corner.
yeah, that's on the
Yeah.
corner.
It's awfully small, but good for them. I have no questions.
Anybody care to
You
make a
building,
motion?
you doing it?
I'll make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve as presented. Okay.
Can we get a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
The motion's been passed, 4-1. Good luck.
I'm just gonna stay here because the
Oh,
next
you're here
one-
again? Oh, man, you got a busy day.
I didn't plan on being here for this.
All right,
The nay was her Tom.
Thank you.
all right, okay, we're talking,
Good.
Hold on, we have to call them.
Yeah.
Did you need that?
Sure.
I just want to clarify why I voted no. May I? May I?
yes, sir.
The reason I voted no is because I think we have too many rental properties in town.
Well,
That's not an issue of purview of this
I
historic
know
board
that.
review.
I was just clarifying.
I'm just telling you, that's not an issue of purview for this historic board review.
I know
just to
that.
clarify,
That's why you voted no, that's not appropriate within your review
Oh,
purview, is
okay.
what I'm saying.
I still say no.
But we don't have enough. We don't have enough
It's
affordable.
not a
of them-
discussion for this.
It's
not a
a moot
discussion.
point because the house is currently the vacation rental, the garage is pumping. It sounds like to me, according to the application.
The house is a rental now.
Correct, right.
Now, wait a minute. Conditional use permit, doesn't that require that the owner live?
That's not our purview.
Again, it's not the
Okay.
purview of this board.
So 410
Sorry.
Harbor Avenue,
Yes.
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yes, is this Sam?
Yeah,
Hi, Sam,
good
it's
afternoon.
it's Katie Nunez. We've got you on your agenda item, so give me a minute to do the preview, okay?
Thank you, sounds good.
Basically the same thing.
Where are we? Okay.
So, for 410 Harbor Avenue, the applicant is seeking to demolish an existing shed and build a two-story garage with an accessory dwelling unit on the second floor. We have provided the roofing, all the materials for you in our staff report. The proposed project is set back over 50 feet from the house and is 8.5 feet from the rear property line and 5 feet from the side property line. The structure is 390 square feet, which is 25% of the square footage of the house. And the planning commission has already approved this item for conditional use permit and recommended as such. Town council at their meeting on Thursday, December 16th, also approved their conditional use permit application and issued it. The application is in conformance with the zoning ordinance with the exception of obtaining all of these approvals, which are now in hand as of today's meeting. So if you have any further questions for the applicant or his contractor, you have them now available.
Again, access from the alley, I assume.
Access looks like it faces the streets. Yes, the staircase is on the alley side, but the overhead door faces the
Skinny.
So, this application's also for demolition of a contributing structure.
Correct, there's
Yes.
some photos in your packet, I believe, of the existing structure, which is not contributing much.
That is considered a contributing structure.
That's what it says on
It
it.
is as of the last update of the historic register. In their inventory list, this was picked up as a contributing accessory structure.
Basically the same as the last one.
That doesn't come before this board too often, the demolition of contributing structure, but I've seen the condition of this structure, and I don't think there's much left to salvage. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
There's no windows on the sides.
You're talking about the new construction?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I find that to be,
little, one window on by the front door, or by the door.
Yeah, I've got,
But
looks
Yeah, I
like
mean,
two windows on the alley and two on, above
there's
the
no
drive.
windows on this drawing.
the drawings are not, they're not in sync, because one drawing has it on the, I believe it's the
Oh,
east
yeah.
side, and then on another drawing, there is no windows. There's windows on the east
Well,
side.
looks like they do not have windows facing the house
Right,
downstairs, which traditionally in the garage, a lot of people don't want windows in the garage, for a lot of reasons, one of them being theft. But there are 3 double windows on the
Yeah,
second floor.
it's driveway and alley facing.
Okay.
yeah, but on this,
I think that's just a computer
Okay.
generated rendering,
Because
this
if
is the actual
yeah, if you
blueprints
go,
they'll be
okay,
using.
if we go from
Yeah.
that rendering to
Yeah,
the,
I think that's just to give you an idea of the placement of the structure. This would, we would go to, this is the blueprints, this would
Okay.
actually be entered to the building department, not that.
I mean,
drawing
I would suggest that you try to pop in a couple windows on the second floor on the,
What's got,
on the north
Yeah.
side.
Windows,
it's actually got 3.
No,
It's
the
got
other
double,
side has
double,
no
and
windows.
double.
right.
It's
I'm
just not
talking
on
about this side.
He's indicating on the north side, that's what Ed is saying, the side
It's
facing
just
the
not,
house.
there's nothing in town that looks like that. It's just a big blank wall. And, I mean, I looked at it, there's a bedroom and, I think a bathroom. There's no really,
I mean, yeah, I mean, that's an aesthetic, I have no control or input over that, that's my client's purview.
I mean,
You're really gonna put the handrail on the structure and not the stairway?
You have, I mean, you've got a railing, so
That,
that's.
once again, I think this is just to give you an idea of the lay of the land. This is not an official document, this will not go to the building department. The only thing that would be official documents would be site plan and the actual blueprints.
Right, these blueprints.
Generally, no, we do not put handrails mounted to the siding, so that's likely just something that somebody made a rendering and just popped out in the computer. So
Yeah.
those things are just
Yeah,
automatic.
so that won't be there. You got that.
and the siding, it says vinyl. I think.
Yes. On Main Street, Ridgeport,
Currently, the
vinyl
existing
siding.
home is vinyl.
.042 vinyl, vinyl windows, vinyl siding is what I'm
Big
looking at.
plastic structure.
Does he have a sample of the window? You have a sample of your window? I mean, specs?
Don't have a window in here. We use an HRAM that's gone through the board many times before. That's commonly what we use, windows. Interstate 1 vinyl, 6.0 flat grids, low E, half screen.
Frame, the trim?
On the window,
Mhm.
so that would, it comes with trim. It comes with trim, it comes with a J trim.
But we require 4 inches,
You could put 4 inches on there,
and we
Does the
require
house-
1 1 3/4 sill.
not a problem.
I
Does
think it was
the house have that?
What?
1x4.
The house is an older house, you know what, honestly, I
3.5
couldn't
inch
speak to
window.
exactly what the house
Trim.
has on it right now. It has been redone in vinyl siding, however, so it likely has J channel, I couldn't speak to exactly what the windows look like, off the top of my head. But they are vinyl, I do know that.
Okay.
So a
And if
couple
you'd
of,
like the motion with sill and 4-inch trim around the windows, I don't think that would be an
It's
issue.
3.5 inches.
Yeah.
Katie, what have we been doing on the windows?
we'll back up before we get to there, because while we have Mr. Sharp on the phone, I know the first question that got raised was from the chairman, some addition of windows on the north side. Is there support from the rest of this board to want to potentially seek some additional windows being placed on the north side? And do we want to have that conversation with the property owner?
I mean, this. does
Yeah,
not
right.
fit in with,
And
I
the
have-
reason is aesthetics?
Well, on page 22 of our guidelines, particular attention should be given to the spacing, placement, scale, and orientation of the size of window and door openings. There is no windows or door, well, there's one door, but there's no consideration of the spacing on this at all.
Okay, I understand.
There's-
So hey, this is Sam Sharp. Yeah, we understand your point. This was because we were looking to rent for long-term rental purposes, the upstairs unit, we just thought it'd be good for privacy for not just us, but for the individual in the living there.
Well, it is on a second floor. I mean, privacy, who's gonna be able to see up there? I mean, that doesn't seem to carry much weight.
Right, if you look from our back windows in the house, you could, I mean, if they didn't have the shades drawn, you could stare directly into the rooms there. But, I mean, look, we're not dead set on that. If that's a sticking point, we would certainly add a window or two if that's a major.
I think the symmetry is what we're really looking at, because it looks like, you know,
Looks like a
having the two
barn.
windows and the door all in one area.
It looks like a
Nothing.
barn without windows.
Okay, here's another example in our guidelines. Page 42, number 9, respect the ratio of walls to openings, windows and doors evident on adjacent historic facades. Generally, historic buildings have more wall area than window area. So that falls into your thing, but the windows and door openings on adjacent historic buildings, there is no other adjacent buildings that are just a flat wall. They all have windows or doors in them.
Except for the existing structure.
Well, that's a shed, and that's one story, this is two-story. I mean, it's really large opening, you have a two-story big blank wall. It just doesn't fit,
Right, we understand, and so would you be happy to look at putting in, like, how many windows would you like us to put in? Would it like 2 or?
I guess,
We would
Same.
happy to do it.
is it, you know, would our questions be different if it was a different perspective? If we rotated this building 90 degrees, are we still complaining about windows on the side? I don't think we are. I'm not saying to rotate.
following you.
I'm not, well, it's a garage, right?
It's not a garage, it's a living space.
Living space.
I
upstairs.
understand, but ultimately, I don't know, I guess I'm
Well,
struggling.
you know, so potentially, just to give an option to, you know, give you options, you could put one window in the bedroom and one in the living room, potentially centered on each room, maybe not egress, because you've already obtained egress with the other windows, but maybe like, you know, let 203L on each one of those, center in each one of those windows, that might fit, if that would,
I think aesthetically it would look good.
if that's an option to the board and to the client.
I think additional of a minimum 2 windows would help the aesthetics of this building. And, I mean, you're walking down the sidewalk, this is on a corner lot, you walk down that sidewalk and you see that side of that building straight in your face as you're walking south.
Yeah, I just think that they're limited somewhat by the design of the upstairs looking at it.
Well, there is a bedroom or
Yeah,
dining room.
That's what I'm saying. You could
Yeah.
put one in the bedroom, one in the living room. They're very small rooms. The bedroom looks to be 9 feet. You know, it's, you're somewhat limited practically, you know, for putting a bunch of glass in that bedroom. And then, but I'm thinking, you know, as far as aesthetics is.
Well, I'm not talking huge windows, I mean, anything would be better.
2 by 3 was,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The two by threes, almost equally in the same spot on the structure.
Correct.
So they wouldn't be askew. or something like
aesthetically, it
that.
would look
We could
in
probably
balance.
make that work.
Right, it would be symmetric.
Symmetrical, correct.
Right.
Thank you.
And that would be fun.
It's not a huge cost, I mean, it just makes a world of difference, I think, in my mind,
So
aesthetically.
2 by 3s on that side of the wall, and it sounds like I just heard the applicant would be amenable to that addition to his design.
Correct.
Yeah,
The,
affirmative.
Okay.
the other thing that we have about the windows is that the trim, we usually require a 3.5-inch trim, which your contractor agreed to, and an 1 3/4 sill plate.
Correct. I agree we could do it. Obviously, it's your decision, Sam.
So again, to the applicant, did you hear that, and do you understand if the board imposed that requirement of a thickness of the sill and the trim, are you amenable to that, addition to your design?
Certainly.
Okay.
You can do that.
I mean, that's the minimum size window. You could go larger also.
You know, yes, we.
You may
guys
wanna-
have made
you may
amendment,
wanna look at
basically
that.
2 by 3.
Yeah.
We will look at the plans and see what fits best, but,
Yeah.
at the minimum, we've made you happy and.
Very good.
compliance.
Everybody's happy.
Very good.
So before the board actually puts a motion on the floor, I need some clarification on the trim. I originally heard a 4-inch trim, but then I've heard you give me a
Well, it's a
different.
1x4, which is nominal. It's
1 by
1/3
4.
by.
It's really, yeah.
We've got this.
And then a 1 and
Okay,
3/4
I know you done.
inch sill.
Right.
Okay. I just need to make sure, because you're about to give a motion, I want to make sure we capture all the elements in your motion.
And the
You-
windows would be a minimum 2x3. It could be larger.
Right, okay, minimum.
I mean, that wall could take a bigger window for sure.
Okay. And we would call it the north side, I think we said. North side.
And you have no windows in your garage door, correct?
It doesn't look like, looks like the
No.
back of the packet, there's a spec garage door that does not have glass. Once again, it's, very common in garages for security reasons.
So if I'm correct, it sounds like the board might be willing to entertain a motion to approve this application as presented with the addition of 2 windows on the north side of the garage structure to be a minimum size of 2 feet by 3 inches. and-
3 feet.
2
Sorry,
feet by
2
3
feet by 3 feet, and for the trim of the windows to be 1 by 4, and the sill to be 1 3/4.
That's on all the windows.
Yes, all the windows.
Okay. You need a motion, Ed?
That would be my proposed motion, if anyone would like to make that.
That is my preferred motion to you. Thank you.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion's approved unanimously. Good luck. Thank you.
Hey, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Sam?
Have a nice Christmas.
You too. Have a good one. Thank you, John.
If we can hang that up, okay?
Where is it?
Do you hang it up?
No, I hit something wrong.
Hang behind you, I
Which
guess.
one have you got now? Which one is this?
He hung up, so we're good.
Okay.
Okay.
We're on item D5, 542 Jefferson Avenue, Bad Dog LLC. David and Elizabeth Kreitz Doherty, pre-application / certificate of appropriateness to construct a new 2-story single-family home. The applicant's right here.
The applicant is here, so they are looking to construct a 1,535 square foot, 2-story, single-family home with a 2-story front porch and a screened rear porch. We do have a full set of architectural drawings with their submission, an elevation for the house, a site plan, and a details material list. The house that was previously on the property was a circa 1910 folk Victorian. There is a discrepancy that I still need to get clarified as to the square footage that's listed on the site plan versus your drawings. So we still need to get that clear in the application process. But otherwise, this will be in zoning compliance in terms of all the setback requirements. I just need to get clear what is the square footage on his paperwork, that's all.
You're talking about the blueprints?
In the drawings that you provided to us between, I have 2 different site plans that were submitted to us. We don't need to straighten it out today, right this second.
Well, I was gonna
So I
say,
do
I
want to
think
make
with
sure
the-
the board reviews all of the
You're probably
elements
looking
of
at an
design.
older site plan.
So, and we'll go through that, because I know we talked about it on the phone. I still want to get clarity
Yeah.
between all the documents,
It's
that's
just
all.
the second one from 1027.
Yeah, yeah. So, but with that said, I think you have enough for you to do your review today on the proposed new construction.
What?
Did I see 2-story porch?
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same thing. I don't see that on
Where's
the
the second?
plan. Katie mentioned
No.
2-story
I'm
porch.
not aware of
story.
two.
And I may have been looking at a different application, if that's not the case, but you're right,
Yeah,
in
no,
the
it's a
drawing,
single story.
it is a single-story porch, so I misspoke on my staff report, and I will amend that.
Okay.
Sometimes I get going way too fast on my things.
So,
New construction.
so this is this proposed is on the lot where the house was demolished at
Mhm.
Yes.
542 Jefferson?
Yes.
Yes, I'm curious, I know there's concrete steps that still remain there. Will that be part of the new construction? Those steps?
Possible.
Okay,
We're not sure it's gonna line up.
okay, that's still, okay.
There's people who want them, if they don't.
Okay,
Well, you could make them lined up. I mean, you're starting from scratch.
No,
I didn't-
height-wise.
You can make them work. I mean,
I guess that wouldn't be a basis for calling it a restoration. Okay.
No, it won't be, because we've already made a zoning determination, this would be considered new
New
construction.
Okay.
Siding, I'm looking for the windows. There.
Same as the other structure, number one. Same finish, it's, hardy with the larger, what is it, 7-inch reveal?
What's your sill requirement on the window?
1 3/4 is standard,
Yeah, it's 1 3/4 and 3.5 inch trim.
nominal 4,
Pardon me?
nominal 4.
Correct.
I didn't see any drawings. That must have been to the building department.
That's correct, they are the large-scale
Yeah.
building plans.
You gonna have a railing around the porch, or is it not required?
It's, should be at a height that is not required,
Okay.
so we haven't decided that. I personally don't like railings if we don't need them.
I don't like falling off porches.
It's not that far.
I think it's
How-
30 inches.
So you don't know how high the
I don't know, I
porch,
might use landscape to,
but you don't know yet how high off the ground the porch will be?
oh, it's not gonna be taller than code would require a railing.
It does not
like
require
36
railings
inches.
under code.
I know, but he doesn't know the
I don't know
dimensions.
exactly, I would have to actually refer to the full.
Right, it's in the building, it's in the set of building plans.
Well, it's showing 2.6, it's showing 30 inches. And I think that's right at the
Yeah.
point where you may need a rail.
Nah,
I think it's 30 inches or above.
32 inches or 34 inches, I'm not sure.
That would have to be checked.
Yeah.
I used to think it was 30 inches. But that's for the building department.
Yeah.
You have 4 risers, I'm pretty sure you may need a rail.
So if a railing is required by building code, is there a particular type of material you want them to utilize?
Well, yeah, I mean, we'd have to know what it is.
Would be the Trex railing. 42-inch code, white, ballasted, if needed.
Well, it's residential, you don't need 42-inch tall, but commercially you may need 42, but not residential. It's something you're gonna have to check with the building
Yeah.
department, because 30 inches, I think, is right at the cutoff line. I mean, you could lower your grade, I mean, you could lower your foundation to make it work, but, I mean, that's,
Not neighbor.
yeah.
And I don't think they're gonna be required, because I know I had this conversation with the building official a couple weeks ago
Yeah, okay.
on this particular project, but
It's
I can't say my
probably,
memory is
probably right
100%
there
accurate,
at the
so-
maximum.
I'm not sure 100%, but I think it's over 32 inches. I think you can go up to 32.
Well, that would be 4 treads at 8-inch treads, risers, excuse me.
doing 7 1/4.
On the landscaping, Katie, is that 10-inch dogwood existing?
One story?
Say that again?
One story?
The house is gonna be two-story.
And there's a 6-inch tree.
I'm sorry, what was your question, Herb? I didn't hear you.
The 10-inch dogwood
That's there, yeah,
is there?
yeah. It's existing. None of the, we haven't put any trees in yet. We're gonna do some Spanish epilate down the property, but that's probably 2 years from now.
What is the existing building?
There is an accessory structure on the back of the property
Yeah,
that was approved by the town.
Okay, I can't
the big
remember what that looks
blue-
like. Because you were saying the foundation on the house will be
Yeah.
hard to match
Yeah,
the existing
the
structure.
existing, yeah.
So
The
the-
entire finish is gonna match the other building. Same roof shingles, same windows, same siding, same trim.
Yes, and that accessory structure came before this body. I can't remember the exact date when that came through here,
I don't remember.
some years ago,
It was
a couple years ago.
pre-COVID, I know that.
I think it was a Zoom meeting, wasn't it?
I wasn't here, so I know that much. I wasn't working for the town.
Is there a third floor?
So it's a new building.
No, there
The accessory
could be
structure,
one,
yes.
if we, or 2.5 floor, but we're not planning on
Do you have
finishing.
stairs
can't
going up
be
to
a
it,
third floor.
to the third
No.
floor? No?
Pull down. No,
No.
no,
I might, for access, for HVAC, I may have, I have to have a pop, but we're not planning on doing anything up there.
I'm just curious,
What-
you have the
the
windows.
overall height.
Hmm?
I don't see it. Do you see a height of it? The structure?
The overall height,
Mm-hmm.
I would have to look at the plans again. I know it's under the I think it's,
It's in compliance with zoning for the height.
yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
It's in compliance with the zoning for height.
Yeah.
Could you tell me what the height is?
Off the top of my head, no. I didn't bring my zoning review sheet from this
Yeah.
particular project review.
Okay,
I don't have a.
thank you.
No, I appreciate the questions,
Uh,
and in the future, I'll make sure.
I would like to know what our height is because it varies.
I can't remember on this particular building, but it's in compliance with the zoning requirements.
Oh, you mean zoning, what maximum zoning is, there's 42 foot, isn't it?
No.
No, it's less than that.
40 at 39,
Or 40, something like
40, I
that,
believe.
yeah.
So you're having 4 windows in the third floor, but you're not utilizing the third floor?
That's not unusual.
What?
It's just a question, it's not that it's unusual.
I have 4
Just an
windows on
observation.
my third floor.
It's an observation.
Yeah, there are windows in the attic.
The
Correct.
double doors on the east side,
Mhm.
what's the dimension on those?
That's a 60-inch.
That goes to your wraparound porch.
And
It's
the-
cool.
And the Muntin configuration?
In a what?
The Muntin configuration, what would that be? Is that gonna be as it shows on the drawing?
The what configuration?
The muttons, the little bars that separate the glass.
Oh, actually, no, I think it's clear glass.
They're probably solid.
You have
Solid, yeah.
two,
Yeah.
you have two 6-foot doors, clear glass?
I think so. Same as the windows.
Is that sliding or is it operable?
No,
They're French. Both open.
Yeah,
That's a little unusual for the historic district, isn't it? I
I
can't,
have them in my house.
They were existing.
on the front or the side of your house? You
I
have,
have them on the back.
yeah, well, we're not talking about the back. We're talking about the east side, which faces the street. I just think it's an unusual configuration. I don't remember seeing anything like that on the front or side view on the corner lot of a 6-foot wide glass doors. It's usually just a single 3-foot door. I mean, I may be wrong. I don't know how anybody else feels.
But this is new
it's
construction.
new construction.
Yeah. still new
Yeah.
construction. I haven't seen anything on the new
What?
construction.
Yeah.
either.
There is another house that has them
Yeah.
in new construction
Where?
on Tazewell.
There is a new construction, but it isn't 6 feet, I believe, the one I think you know, I think I know the one you're talking about. They're
I
not
can't
6
hear
foot
you.
wide.
Structural side.
But- Anyone else have any observations, discussion? You're okay with a 6 foot wide glass?
Yeah.
On the side of the house?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have it's clear, it's glass, there's no muttons in it. Right.
But you can have
Usually
muttons
don't
put
put
in.
muttons in there.
Yeah, you could put muttons in,
I like that unobstructed view.
yeah.
It's just not really conducive to the historic district, if you ask me, the big amount of glass. But
It's new construction.
The columns are PVC, the circular columns are PVC.
I'm actually not sure if they're gonna be PVC or
Wood,
composite.
composite, okay.
you should really let us know one way or the other, so we know.
See, because it says front porch will have turned columns.
Yeah, well, that's my wife's.
That's the
terminology,
profile.
is
But it's a profile that they're circular,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have no more, no further
Honestly, in this
questions.
day and age, it's what's available at the time. Yeah, because I've been having a hard time getting materials for other projects. Sometimes we get PVC, sometimes we get composites, sometimes,
It does make a difference.
On the windows, what, are you having any muntins on these windows?
no.
They're
One
just
over
clear
one.
glass?
1/1. Second story, windows will be 3 and 2.
I'll make a motion to approve the drawings, project as drawn with,
And I'm gonna say, to approve the application with, I think, some clarification on the drawings, which are the windows are 1/1, and the porch, the doors from the porch, will be a clear 6-foot glass French door style,
Right,
okay,
because that's different from what's on the drawings.
right.
okay.
And
I
then
don't know where they came up with that.
it's the computer probably did it. But also, Katie, could you add the requirement for the railing if is required by code?
Sure,
And the material then would have to be submitted?
sure.
Well, I can tell you it's gonna be AZAC.
It doesn't matter. Just,
One, you know, what is it, one by one?
but just follow the rules.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, as part of your motion, you would indicate if railings are required by building code, that it come back as a modification with
Right.
material submitted.
For materials, yes, correct. Thank you, Katie.
So,
Of course, it assumes zoning clearance, right?
Yes, there is no zoning clearance required, no additional clearance on railings, that's a building code issue,
Okay.
yes.
Jeff will clarify.
do you have a second?
I second it.
Second.
Oh, you did,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
excuse me?
Her motion and Kathy seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Me. Okay, it's been approved, 4-1. Good luck.
Who said no?
I did.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, when we get back to Jeff, we're doing the two site plans, and there's a discrepancy in the square footage between these two. So just tell me which one's the correct one.
Because we're mad,
I know, I have both, that's why, you need to tell me which one's the
we're
correct
being
one.
picky because we're mad and we're not.
That's
When we
exactly
do site
correct.
survey, this is a qualified site survey, this is not. This is, there's
He
no
also
surveyor
seems
stamp on the backside.
Vindictive, aren't you?
So we can talk,
Yeah.
we can talk those, so we got one more applicant
Woman
to go.
scorn.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, we're up to item E1.
E1.
E1, and our applicants are here.
Okay, lots 26-29 on Randolph Avenue, Thomas and Catherine Austin.
Yes,
Pre-application / certificate of appropriateness to construct a miniature golf clubhouse and install a sign.
yes. So again, they are looking to do a mini golf course. Location is adjacent or near to the museum, historic museum, or directly across from Heritage Acres. They've submitted a site plan, full set of architectural drawings with elevations and a detailed materials list. These lots are currently vacant and are legal conforming lots. This body has been assigned to review all the development projects in the C3 district pursuant to the Cape Charles zoning ordinance, and the town council has assigned this body to be the reviewing entity. The board has, up to now, reviewed 3 projects in the C3 district, meaning the brewery, the beach market, and custom carts. So we are starting to have a pattern develop. We're getting more construction over this area of town. So part of what they are looking to build is a clubhouse. It will also have 18 holes of miniature golf, which has been designed to comply with ADA requirements. As I mentioned, it's a full landscape plan. We've also have a lighting style from them, proposed signage, and they've also indicated during their hearings with the Planning Commission and the Town Council that the course holes will be designed with themes reflective of the Eastern Shore, such as historic, coastal, ponies, railroads, etc. And I'm sure the applicants will be able to speak in more detail about that if you wish to hear more about that. The application is in zoning compliance with the Cape Charles zoning ordinance and has received a conditional use permit from Town Council as of last Thursday, with all the conditions that were laid out as part of that conditional use permit application. So we are in support of this application from a staff perspective from zoning compliance, and we are here to assist in the development of any motion of this board in your review of this matter this evening. As I mentioned, Kate and Tom Austin are here, and their lovely daughter.
Good, how are you?
I'm excited.
Can you just state your name for the record, please? And address?
Thomas Austin.
I'm Katie Austin.
How do you do?
And they have, everything you guys have given us, this board has been provided a copy of it. So if you have any particular questions from the board members on their application elements?
The only question I have is parking.
Yep, we have the required 20 parking spaces.
Do you have any designated for the golf carts?
We do not.
And none is required by ordinance.
We actually tried to do that and were turned down.
Right, okay.
And I think that was discussed at the conditional use.
It was raised about golf cart parking, and it was mentioned that they had sought a variance from the regular parking requirements to have some provisions for golf cart parking. The Board of Zoning Appeals did not approve that request for variance, and they wanted the full compliance of the parking requirement to be met of 20 spaces. Could golf carts park in those spaces? Absolutely.
It's not our purview. It's not our purview. Let's talk about the building construction.
I think the building construction is lovely. No, I think it's,
I haven't finished.
Well, go ahead.
Parking. Handicap parking.
Still not our purview.
There's one handicap spot.
it's there.
Is that one required? Okay, that's all. I'm just,
Not
Been
your
approved.
purview.
Everything's been approved.
it does,
The
yeah, but
last
on my
step
little,
is us.
it doesn't say anything about handicap on my thing.
It
Or-
has met zoning compliance, which deals with the
I
parking.
just wanted to know.
We don't do that kind of stuff here.
We're happy.
The clubhouse,
Sure.
will you be cooking in there?
Not cooking as far as like steaks and, just like deli sandwiches and that sort of thing. We'll have just like a small conveyor toaster just to like heat up the sandwich.
So there's no public access inside the clubhouse?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Just through the concession window. That's where we'll take orders for food and for rounds of mini golf.
Yep.
I thought I had seen in your original design where you were gonna have a clubhouse for birthday parties and stuff. Did you not?
No, not for birthday parties, we thought it would be a good spot for, you know, local families and such if they wanted to do something, or maybe the Christian school if they wanted to come there or something like that. But that would be on the patio area.
And the bathrooms are attached there.
Yep.
Yeah. I have no question. I like the design.
And do you
Landscaping, I assume all that's on here.
Yeah, there's a pretty comprehensive landscape plan.
Yeah, that's in here.
That's honestly gonna be a major focus of the course, not only just along the road, but actually throughout the course. You know, that's how we want it to look. It is just beautiful landscaping throughout, almost like an English garden type feel.
And kind of around the parking area.
Yeah, we felt like, you know, kind of the entrance into town was important, kind of beautify that, and, so when they were designing it, we made sure they put a major focus on that.
So the clubhouse also houses bathrooms?
Bathrooms.
Yeah, so they're on the south side, if you bring up the plan. South side of the block, yeah.
And you're gonna provide drinks and things like that?
And that's just beer, wine, and like a canned cocktail. We're not gonna be making, you know, any sort of,
No
it's not gonna be like a bar scene. I don't wanna give off that sort of vibe.
Where will the sign be located, and how will it be?
So, you probably have the detail of how the sign looks.
Yeah, I'm just kind of flipping through here.
Our plan is to put it right here.
Okay.
You can see the sign would go right here.
Okay.
Above the,
let me see.
I don't see.
That's still you're still working on that
there, I
sign
see.
design?
Yeah, it might be the last.
No, we have it in there.
I think it's the
That's no,
last page or next to last page.
You find out.
We met with Andy Buckles over, it'd be a solid PVC. Then he has a machine that will actually route out the letters, so it'll be engraved and then paint it black. So-
there won't be neon, there won't be neon lights or
No,
anything.
just like a landscaping uplight.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely no need.
Yeah, thank you. And you don't anticipate removing any trees for the construction or anything?
The only thing I think they mentioned were on the very south side, there's one or two gumball trees
Yeah.
down there, but if they do need to be removed, they would be replaced. So if you're looking, and I've driven by, I don't really see which, I saw it when they showed the site plan, I think there might be like one or two gumballs that are here that are small, they were talking about replacing those.
Okay, yeah, and replacing, okay.
So, I mean, everything on the clubhouse looks
I'm good.
I think it's cool.
pretty,
John, make a
Stand.
motion that we approve, or we issue certificate of appropriateness for the plans as is. Katie, is there any contingencies?
There are no contingencies associated with your approval. There are some with their conditional use permit, but they don't overlap, so you're good.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll second.
oh, Herb, discussion?
is that where he's gonna put the sign?
Roughly, and I say roughly because he still has to get through the
Right
VDOT
there.
review of his entrance
sure.
permit, and that's gonna dictate exactly where that sign can
That's
go
his.
once the entrance has been finalized by VDOT.
Where were you saying the sign was
Oh,
gonna
on the building itself, I'm sorry.
Oh, we're not gonna have a sign.
be? Not on the.
No sign? Okay, that's cool.
It's a stand
Oh,
mounted.
freestanding
We wanna
sign.
make it look as much as possible, like, kind of keep.
Oh, I think,
you know what I mean?
I can't wait.
Yeah,
Can you buy season passes?
we've been talking about that.
Yeah. Okay, so I
Okay,
made the
so
motion.
We have a second?
Yeah, I
Have a
second it.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion's been passed unanimous. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
You too. You'll be ready this spring, right?
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
no. Spring
don't-
2023, maybe.
Yeah.
Just like the beach markers later.
There you
Yeah.
go. Oh, don't be like, no, don't be like that.
Just, I had a message from VDOT, they still need some stormwater calcs from your engineer. Did you pass it along?
I will double check. Everything that they responded said they won't even do anything until now.
Well, I can communicate with them where we are in the approvals, but yeah, we're on hold to get
I know
them.
DEQ emailed saying
For their house, it goes with the.
Okay, just tell them to call me if they have any questions.
I was gonna call you maybe
Okay.
after Christmas.
Okay,
Make sure I'm doing everything.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, management.
Okay, so is there anything else?
So we have other business, we have a report from Katie.
Lastly, just a quick update. I just did 2 minor exemption approvals this month for roof replacements, one at 610 Randolph and one at 606 Madison, pursuant to section 8.16B of the Historic District Guidelines, of the Historic District Ordinance, not guidelines, sorry.
Now, these are just replacing the entire roof with the same exact materials,
Yes.
like for like.
Katie, did we previously discuss doing something similar with fences too? What was?
We've had some discussion, but everything is on hold as your ordinance and guidelines are still going through the
Okay.
consultant review. They're aware that we'd like some things to be done administratively, and so I think that's what you're going to see. And actually, I will be releasing to you here in the next 2 weeks when I get them from the consultant. We are starting to get draft products out to them and a calendar of a public forum that will be held where the consultants will be talking about the survey that happened last month as well. I think all of you saw that. So we're starting to get to the point that they've got some product ready for input. So I will get that calendar out to you beginning of January and start to book everybody so you know what's coming up for our obligations to start getting our final comments back to them on the products that they have produced. Okay?
I have
So
a question.
it is moving along.
Okay.
No, you go ahead.
I had a question for Katie. I think we were supposed to discuss the particular applicant who demolished his home, that we were gonna get some clarification of the follow-up, what exactly happened with that.
We issued a violation, they have paid fees, and they are producing or proceeding with addressing all of those violation issues and bringing it into compliance. So they are still they could go ahead and apply for, as they did this evening, for the HDRB review of a new structure on that premise this evening, and they have done so. We will not issue your C of A that was issued this evening or approved this evening until the building demo permit has been closed by the building official.
So am I correct to think that he's been fined?
Yes, there has been a fine and that has been paid to the town, yes.
And where does that money go?
In the fines line item under our department.
Okay, I mean, do we know the amount?
I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it was part of the violation letter.
$3,250.
Say that again?
$3,250.
Thank you. I couldn't remember it off the top of my head.
You're welcome.
And there's a piece that was a fine issued through the building code, and so that will reside under the building department fine structure. Yes, under their revenue stream.
Okay, I have one other announcement to make here from Tracy. January 3rd is the deadline for all applicants to get requested information to Tracy for the January 18th Historic District Review Board meeting. Is that good, Tracy? All right.
I have, hello? Could I ask my fellow board members if we could do this at 3 o'clock? I mean, does everybody think this is more, especially in the wintertime? It would be,
It might be hard for some of the applicants.
Katie?
Let's at least, if that's something you're willing to entertain for your January meeting, let's have that conversation right now. As part of your January agenda, it's a new year, so we typically do an organizational component to that meeting, including your election of officers, your adoption of rules, including your adoption of your meeting calendar, your date and time, as well as all of the associated deadlines associated for any applications to get on each month's agenda. So if we could just only tackle, if you wish to move the January meeting to start at 3 p.m., I'd have that discussion today and leave the conversation of generally when you want to have our meeting start to that next month's meeting to have that conversation.
Okay, let's do January then. Okay.
If everyone is
I would like to start January's meeting at 3 o'clock. Due to the winter time, it's dark, and the ladies that come from the office, it's not fair that they have to work overtime all the time.
Yeah.
That's,
I'd be in favor of that too.
I do have a conflict,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Is this the 18th?
I mean, I can do January, but I don't know that I could do it always at that.
That's what I said, we're only
We're
focusing just
January.
for the
January's
this
okay.
January meeting and start time we're proposing.
Because I do work from 3 to 6 on Tuesdays sometimes.
So yes, we are looking at January 18th.
3 p.m.
that would be at 3 o'clock, and then we can discuss the rest after that, or
Our
at that
January
meeting.
Organizational component of our meeting.
Right.
I just have one more thing to say to Katie. I said it before, but we have a conflict with what's in the zoning ordinances as opposed to what's in the historic district review guidelines.
Yes.
Now, I have a problem with my pet peeve, the vinyl siding that's allowed in the zoning, but not allowed in the historic district review board guidelines. Now, is that gonna get straightened out at some time?
Yes, that is what the consultants are working on, and I think you will see that addressed in their documents that will be forthcoming, yes.
There's also other conflicts with the zoning as opposed to the historic district. I hope they follow up and get that all cleared up, so people as a board can
Well,
can
again,
know, not have a conflict.
I have been trying to convey everything that you're telling me and hearing, any of those conflicts or issues or other items that have come up over the last year since I've been here. If they're not in those documents, when they come out in draft format, then would be the time to identify them if we miss something. But we will have plenty of opportunity to comment on the draft documents, both the ordinance versions and the guidelines as well. So,
Well, that's another thing. We have no ordinances in the guidelines. You have the ordinances in the zoning. We don't have ordinances.
you will have the ability to comment on the draft ordinance that is coming from the consultants. So,
I think that's great.
yes.
All right, I'd like to say a few words. I have notified the town clerk, Libby, that have asked not to be reappointed to the Historic District Review Board. I'd like to thank my fellow board members. I have worked with, and I know it didn't always agree on everything, but I believe in the end we were fair and honest in our assessments. I would like to thank Katie for her expertise and knowledge, Libby for her organizational stuff, and I'd like to thank Tracy for many hours of getting agenda and meetings organized, and maybe not being recognized for doing so. Thank you, Tracy. And with that said, I tried my best, and thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ed.
And this meeting's adjourned.